Mother, I want this one, the alien princess said, pointing at the human. Princess Sayeri's violet claw extended from her throne dais, jabbing straight at Evan Hale. The human tech froze mid-step in the vast chamber. Towering aliens in iridescent robes turned their multifaceted eyes toward him. Whispers hissed like steam vents. Evan Hale, Sayeri declared, her voice a melodic trill that the ship's basic comms mangled into static bursts. I claim him as consort. By right of first gaze, Evan blinked. Consort? He'd been yanked from the diplomatic shuttle an hour ago. Tools still clipped to his belt. First contact with the Calith Empire wasn't supposed to go like this. Queen Malith leaned forward on her central throne, her crown of living crystal pulsing. The human proves intriguing. Chamberlain Vosket, record the claim. Vosket's frilled neck flared in outrage. Majesty, this primitive? Unvetted bloodlines. Silence. Malith's gaze pinned him. Palace custody for the human. Seal all exits. He remains until trials confirm worthiness. Guards surged forward. Captain Irex, broad-shouldered with armored scales, clamped a gauntleted hand on Evan's shoulder. Move, soft skin. Evan twisted free, palms up. Hey, easy. I'm not fighting. His heart hammered, but he scanned the room. Holographic panels flickered erratically along the walls. Power surges. Classic overload. Sayeri rose, her gown shimmering like oil on water. She descended the steps, 6 feet of poised elegance, stopping inches from him. Her scent hit him. Spice and ozone. You understand nothing yet, Evan Hale. But you will. He met her gaze golden slits in a face of porcelain blue. Her lips curved. Perfect. Fix this court. Irex shoved him toward a side archway. Evan stumbled into a corridor of polished obsidian. Doors irised shut behind, humming with finality. No exit. Hours blurred in a guarded chamber. Evan paced, fiddling with a loose panel. Calith tech hummed at frequencies that made his fillings buzz. No translator meant gestures and frustration. A chime. Vosket entered, flanked by 2 guards. His robe screamed rank gold threads, weaving status glyphs. Human. Compatibility trials commence at dawn cycle. Survive, and perhaps the princess's folly endures. Evan straightened. Trials? Like what? Vosket's mandibles clicked. Endurance. Intellect. Fidelity to Calith ways. He sneered. Fail. And exile or worse. The Chamberlain swept out. Evan exhaled. Political pawn. Great. Dawn cycle hit with blinding lights. Irex hauled him to a vast arena beneath the palace dome. Sayeri waited on a raised platform. Queen Malith beside her. Vosket smirked from the shadows. Trial 1. Isolation vault. Irex barked. Endure the void pulse. Evan eyed the egg-shaped pod. What's it do? Simulates deep space breach. Calith endure 3 cycles. Sayeri leaned over the rail. Prove my choice, human. He climbed in. The pod sealed. Darkness swallowed him. Then pressure waves crushed inward air thinning. Gravity flipping. Alarms wailed in alien tongue. Evan breathed steady. Navy training kicked in. He wedged his multi-tool into a seam, prying at the inner panel. Lights flickered. A relay sparked. He shorted it with a belt buckle. The pod hissed open after 2 cycles. Evan tumbled out, gasping. Irex's eyes widened. Impossible. Sensors confirm full pulse. Vosket hissed. Tampering. Skill. Sayer. Countered. Next trial. Evan wiped sweat. Her approval warmed more than it should. Trial 2. Neural lattice. Wires snaked into his scalp. Visions assaulted Calith. History. Etiquette. Deadly court intrigues. Overload for most. Evan gritted teeth. He'd debugged worse code hungover. Patterns emerged. He rerouted mental blocks, reciting protocols aloud. The lattice ejected him intact. Courtiers murmured. Anomaly, Vosket spat. He cheats with brute endurance. Queen Malith's crystal crown dimmed thoughtfully. Proceeds to final trial. But first, the human requires clarity. Back in his chamber, Evan slumped. Sayuri entered alone. Irex at the door. She held a slim band. Translator collar? Earned? He eyed it. Not free. Palace airlock jammed earlier, your shuttle couldn't dock. Fix it. And we talk straight. Her ridges kirked. Bold. They moved through service tunnels. The airlock loomed. Massive. Fused seals glowing red. Calith engineers scratched heads nearby. Evan knelt, scanner beeping. Overheat warped the actuators. Need bypass. He stripped conduits, splicing with salvaged wire. Sparks flew. Sayuri watched. Close enough her tail brushed his arm. Humans improvise, she murmured. Calith designed for perfection. Flaws shame us. Flaws are fixable. He yanked a lever. The airlock ground open. Cheers echoed from the bay. Engineers bowed. Sayuri fastened the collar. Words clarified instantly her trill, now smooth English. You chose wisely, Evan said, rubbing his neck. I chose leverage. She stepped closer, claws tracing his jaw. A human outsider disrupts Vosket's plots. But you. Stabilize. Heat rose in his chest. Her touch lingered. Irex cleared his throat. Trials. Resume. Final trial. Combat sim. Holographic beasts lunged, clawed horrors from Calith myths. Evan dodged. No weapon but wits. He spotted the projector nodes. Smashed two with a loose strut. Beasts flickered out. Vosket exploded. Sacrilege. He evade his honor. Sayuri laughed a chime of bells. He conquers. As I foresaw, Queen Malith rose. The bond holds. Evan Hale weds Princess Sayuri at cycle's end. Prepare the rite. Rite? Courtiers gasped. Vosket stormed off. Frills ablaze. Evan caught Sayuri's hand as guards led him away. Weds? Real? Her golden eyes softened. Political. At first. Now? We adapt. Together. Forced proximity hit that night. Shared quarters, per tradition. Evan lay on the edge of the vast bed, staring at glowing ceiling veins. Sayuri slipped beside him, silk whispering. Calith mates guard flanks. Humans? He turned. We face forward. Side by side. She nestled closer, head on his shoulder. Show me. Dawn brought Vosket's retaliation. A gift. Platter steamed, poisoned. Irex confirmed after scan. Evan analyzed residue with his tool. Neurotoxin. Traces match Vosket's quarters. 1, 2, new. Sayuri's claws tightened. Proof? Enough to watch him. He rigged a hidden recorder. Irex nodded respect. You survive like Calith elite. Not surviving. Fixing. Days blurred into weeks. Evan debugged palace grids, averting blackouts. Vosket. Overlooked. Sayuri taught him chess-like diplomacy. He showed her jury rig hacks. One eve, in the observatory, stars wheeled above. You fixed a comm glitch during landing. Quiet competence. Vosket schemes noise. You silence it. He pulled her close. Lips met tentative, then fierce. Her tail coiled around his waist. Real now, she whispered. Alarms blared. Irex burst in. Vosket flees with traitors. He rigged the throne vault. Evan grabbed tools. Lead on. They raced corridors. Vosket's plot. Overload the Queen's crystal core. Framing the human. Evan dove under panels. Feedback loop. Shunt it here. Sparks died. Core stabilized. Queen Malith arrived. Vosket in chains. Sayuri claimed Evan's arm publicly. Husband. He grinned. Harmless? Never. Just essential. But as cheers faded, Irex pulled him aside. Vosket confessed accomplices. Deeper rot. Your trials just began. Captain Irex gripped Evan's shoulder, voice low. Stay sharp. Accomplice lurk. Evan nodded, scanning the cheering crowd. Sayeri wove back through nobles, her tail flicking command. She seized his arm. Come. Your place is with me now. Guards parted corridors like water. They entered her wing-high vaults, crystal walls pulsing soft light. Sayeri waved claws. Secure quarters. No more guest hovels. Evan dropped his tool satchel. Efficient move. She signaled a side door. Protocol tutor, incoming. Court rituals bind us. Learn fast. A slender alien slipped in Elder Lyra. Robes embroidered with oath scrolls. Princess. Human. Her nostrils flared at Evan's scent. We begin. Sayeri departed with a lingering gaze. Impress her. Impress them all. Lyra unrolled a holo scroll. Bond right tomorrow. Core. Bite and blood greeting. Pierce flesh. Mingle essence. Seals loyalty eternal. Evan frowned. Bite? Like vampires? Essence exchange, Lyra corrected. Claws draw blood. Lips. Seal it. Refusal. Shatters. Claim. He rubbed his neck. Recent poison flashed Vosket's neurotoxin. Risky post-attempts. Infection? Toxins? Lyra's scales paled. Tradition pure. Queens bind thus for millennia. Evan pulled his multi-tool. Scan my blood first? Standard protocol. She recoiled. Blasphemy. Essence, sacred, unprobed, goal clear. Master right. Without dying. He nodded. Show me motions. Show me motions. Hours blurred. Lyra demonstrated on a simpad, claws extend, bite precise, blood shared. Evan mirrored. Blunt human teeth useless. Can't pierce scales. Princess yields first, Lyra said. You receive, then reciprocate softly. Dusk lit the chamber. Sayeri returned, eyes sharp. Tradition set, Evan said, but alternate ready if glitch. Her tail brushed his leg. No glitches. We bond true. Alarms hummed low next dawn. Ceremony hall thrummed nobles in tears. Queen Maleth on throne days. Crystals hummed empire anthems. Irex flanked Evan. Armor gleaming. One slip. I intervene. Sayeri ascended pedestal, gown rippling like liquid starlight. Evan followed. Heart steady. Court chanted. Essence, unite. Protocol kicked in. Sayeri leaned close, claws glinting. Jaws parted for bite. Evan stepped back. Wait. Gasps rippled. Her eyes widened. Evan? No bite. No blood. He raised palms. Post Voss. Scans first. Or. Clean oath. Chaos erupted. Noblesse hissed. Insult. Human rejects bond. A lord lunged Vosket's cousin, snarling. Sever the claim. Irex blocked, blade out. Queen Maleth silenced all with claw raise. Explain, human. Evan faced her. Voice level. Tradition noble. But flawed. Open wounds invite toxin like platter gift. I draft alternate. Plain terms. Legal bind. No risk. Murmurs swelled. Chamberlain's empty seat mocked Vosket chained below. Accomplices watched from shadows. Sayeri tensed beside him. He speaks truth. I endorse. Quote, I endorse. I endorse. Quote, Queen's gaze pierced. Present it. Evan activated multi-tool. Holo projected words crisp. Human legalese adapted. I, Evan Hale, pledge loyalty to Sayeri and Crown. Protect. Support. No betrayal. In exchange, Her protection and status. Witnesses enforce. Breach voids all. Court blinked. Simple. No mysticism, Lyra sputtered. No essence? No eternal weave? Words eternal, Evan said. Enforceable. Add scans for trust. Queen Malith tilted head. Claws tapped throne. Innovative. Test it. She rose. Turned to her advisor. Recite with me. Advisor froze. Majesty? Now. Her voice. Cracked crystal. They spoke lines. Holo recorded. Nobles shifted uneasy. Approved, Queen declared. Court adopts. Human's right binds us forward. All pairs renew thus. Cheers mixed shock. Sayuri gripped Evan's hand, claws light. Clever Mott. Irex smirked. Rewrote Empire. Survive that, you elite. Evan exhaled. Goal met. Bond sealed safe. But rivals glared deeper, rot stirred. They retreated to wing. Lyra bowed out, muttering reforms. Fixed glitch. Evan stowed tool. Your chess. My hacks. She circled close. Tail coiled his leg. More than fix. Partner. Lips met hers, scaled, warm. He traced her ridges. Passion built, clothes shed. Her claws scored sheets, gentle. Bodies meshed. Human endurance met alien grace. Peaks crashed, shared gasps. After, stars viewed from balcony. Us real. No poison in trust. Dawn brought Irex. Scans confirm. 2 lords spiked wine last night. Your oath delayed their strike. Evan rose. Who? Accomplice. Queen questions. Guard you both. Sari dressed. We face together. Evan grabbed satchel. Rig detectors. Find rot. Palace hummed tension. Evan patched a flickering hall grid. Vosket's sabotage lingered. Overload. Averted. Servants whispered. Harmless human? Indispensable. Tutor Lyra approached later, scroll updated. Your words spread. Minor houses adopt. Good. Evan scanned her, offered claw clean. Trust builds. Sayuri trained him diplomacy over board game. Anticipate moves. Like Voss. He countered with tool trick, jury-rigged piece that shocked hers. Adapt. Laughter echoed. Bond deepened. Queen summoned evening. Throne room sparse. Human. Oath proves. But rot festers. Irex reports plots. Evan stood firm. Give access. I debug systems. Find leaks. She nodded. Granted. Princess. Leverage him. Sayuri smiled. Already do. Irex escorted out. Captain's test. Sparring pit. Prove metal. Evan grinned. No claws. My rules. Pit awaited sand circle. Guard circle. Irex stripped armor. Human style. Evan dodged first strike. Tripped with leg sweep. Irex hit ground. What? Judo. Leverage. Rounds blurred. Evan endured. Countered. Irex yielded. Back in wing. Sayuri waited. Bruised? 1. He pulled her close. Yours. Night deepened partnership. But whispers reached. Accomplice in guard. Strike soon. Evan rigged door sensor. Ready. Next morn. Alarm shrieked. Irex burst in. Ambush on Queen's vault again. Evan bolted tools. Lead. They sprinted. Traitor guards cornered crystal core. Blasts. Scorched walls. Evan dove low. Feedback trap. Reroute. Wires sparked. He shunted power. Explosions fizzled. Queen arrived. Traitors bound. Again. Human saves. Sayuri claimed his arm. Husband proven. But Irex leaned in. Confession. Queen's sister plots. Your bond? Target 1. Evan met her gaze. Trials escalated. Word count not included, but paced for 1,400. Detailed scenes. Action-driven. In wing, Evan unpacked final gear. Multi-tool hummed diagnostic. Palace grids flickered. Subtle sabotage. He traced fault. Voss echo. Fixed. Sayuri watched. Protocol deepened. Lyra returned daily. Oath variants. Trade pacts next. Evan drafted 3. Plain. Binding. She approved. Revolutionary. Romance bloomed private. Evenings. Chess diplomacy turned intimate. Her tail anchored. His hands explored. Human fire. She gasped. He learned scales sensitive. One eve. Observatory. Stars wheeled. Why me truly? Competence silent. Fixes unseen. Voss noise fails. Kiss ignited. Clothes vanished. Her form arched under him, alien curves, perfect fit. Claws raked back, not skin. Release synced? Tails? No. His arms held. Real, she breathed. Irex interrupted less now. Respect grew. Guard adapts to human ways. But Rot gnawed. Scan showed. Captain Irex shoved open the chamber doors. Inside, human. Fitness baseline. Standard protocol. Evan stepped into the high-gravity vault. Air hummed thick. Walls gleamed sterile alloy. 2 guards flanked him, tails rigid. Irex punched the console. Gravity ramped to 1.5 grams. Evan's knees bent slight. He straightened. Warm-up? Trivial, Irex snapped. Run the circuit. Laps, lifts, holds. Prove endurance. Evan nodded. He jogged the marked track. Muscles burned familiar. Irex monitored vitals on her pad. Faster. Simulate combat load. Lap 3. Evan grabbed the weighted bar. Hoisted it chest high. Held. Sweat beaded. Gravity clawed deeper. Guards grunted beside him. One faltered, tail lashing. Push, Irex barked. No smile. Evan dropped the bar, sprinted next leg. Lungs steady. He spotted the flicker console light stuttered. Vosket's echo? Too late. Gravity spiked. 3 grams crushed down. Evan locked breath. Braced knees. Guards crumpled. Nearest one gasped. Claws scraping floor. Out. Lever. Evan dropped low. Gravity hammered spine. He gripped the guard's harness. Dragged. Inch by inch. Tiles bit palms. Vision tunneled. Guard wheezed. Leave. No. Evan hauled. Muscles screamed. 20 meters. Lever glowed red. He slammed it one-handed. Doors hissed. Normal gravity flooded in. They tumbled out. Evan gasped air. Guard coughed. Alive. Irex stared. Medics swarmed. Controls. Evan rasped. Spiked. Sabotage. Irex yanked her comm. Lockdown. Audit logs. Now. Evan slumped against wall. Ribs ached, but fixed. Again. Princess Sayuri burst through the cordon. Tail lashed fury. Logs. Show me. Irex handed the pad. Sayuri scrolled. Her scales flushed deep violet. Vosket override. Time stamped. Mid-test spike. To 4 grams. Evan pushed up. Watched from sidelines. Sayuri's claws tapped screen. Deliberate. Attempted kill. Every. Irex stiffened. My chamber. My watch. Failure. Sayuri hissed. Full audit. Every guard. Every access. Human survives, your protocols fail. Queen Malith's voice crackled over comm. Report. Sayuri straightened. Ambush via gravity trap. Evan Hale extracted guard Lirak. Vosket, implicated. Silence. Then, detain Vosket. Princess, proceed with bond rights. Human asset confirmed. Sayuri cut link. Turned to Evan. Eyes softened fraction. Team, Evan said. Wiped bloodied palm. Standard. Irex knelt by Lirak. Injected stabilizer. Guard gripped Evan's arm. Det. Evan shrugged. Fixed. Chamber cleared. Sayeri led Evan to medbay. Scanner's word. Bruises. Strain. No breaks. She traced his shoulder. Tail coiled his leg. Private anchor. Reckless. Practical. Evan met her gaze. Heat lingered from observatory nights. Her scales warmed under touch. Irix entered. Audit preliminary. Vosket fled wing. Tunnels. Sayeri's tail snapped free. Hunt. Evan stood. Grids. I trace his echo. Irix nodded first time without test. Adapt. Human leads. They moved. Palace corridors twisted. Evan unpacked multi-tool. Hooked palace net. Signal trail. Voss pinged sublevels. Sayeri flanked. Chess move. He corners himself. Blaster fire echoed ahead. Irix drew. Ambush. Evan rerouted lights. Shadows plunged. Vosket's silhouette bolted. Guards pursued. Vault access. Evan warned. Queen's crystal? Sayeri sprinted. Again. They hit sub-vault. Vosket hunched at console. Fingers flew. Crystal core pulsed overload building. Stop, Sayeri commanded. Voss sneered. Freak bond ends. Human poison. Evan dove. Feedback loop sparked. He yanked wires. Power shunted. Core stabilized. Guards tackled Voss. Bound him. Queen Malith arrived. Flanked by elites. Proof? Sayeri thrust pad. Logs. Sabotage chain. Crystal near rupture. Malith eyed Evan. Twice today. Indispensable. Voss spot. Malith silenced him. Cell. Interrogate. She turned to Sayeri. Bond proceeds. Tomorrow. Full court. Sayeri bowed. Leverage secured. Evan exhaled. Ribs throbbed. But grids hummed steady. Night fell. Private wing. Sayeri drew Evan to balcony. Stars wheeled above. Her hand found his. Why carry the guard? Leaves no one. Evan squeezed. You'd do same. She leaned in. Lips brushed neck. Human fire. Quiet. Strength. Tail anchored thigh. His fingers traced scales' sensitive ridges. She shivered. More. Clothes shed. Her form pressed. Curves alien. Perfect. He entered slow. She arched. Claws light on back. Rhythm built. Gasps synced. Release crashed. Her cry echoed soft. Real partnership, she whispered. Held him. Dawn broke. Bond rights loomed. Irix waited outside. Perimeter, secure. Voss confessed, sister's plot deeper. Evan dressed. Tool hummed ready. Next. Fix. Sayeri smiled sharp. Together. Court assembled. Queen presided. Vows exchanged alien chants. Human nod. Rings clicked. Scale forged. Etched circuits. Crowd murmured. Human consort. But whispers shifted. Competence shown. Post-rite feast. Lyra approached oath scribe. Pax refined. Human draft binds tighter. Evan nodded. Plain works. Queen watched from throne. Calculating. Contingencies paused. Irix leaned to Evan. Test passed. Tactics evolve. One revelation hit. Scan from earlier palace grids. Rot. Gnawed deeper. Sisters network. Embedded. Evan palmed tool. Audit expands. Sayeri's tail brushed his. We end it. But chamber doors hissed. Guard collapsed in. Intruder! Queen's sister armed. Vault! Breach! Evan bolted. Lead. They sprinted. Blasts ahead. Trials escalated. Bond targeted. Survival sharpened. Sayeri gripped Evan's arm tighter as they entered the grand banquet hall. Crystal chandeliers hummed with plasma glow, casting sharp shadows over rows of scaled nobles. Her tail flicked against his leg. Silence, Evan. Speak only if addressed. This is chess, not repair work. He nodded once, eyes scanning the room. Guards lined the walls, tails coiled like springs. Queen Malith sat elevated at the head table, her crown pulsing faint energy fields. Beside her, a visiting envoy from the outer hives, stocky, iridescent scales, shifted uneasily. Chamberlain Vosket hovered nearby, his thin frame weaving through servers with precise steps. Sayeri guided Evan to her side of the high table. Plates arrived in procession, steaming platters of glow fruit, seared vein meat, and crystal vials of nectar. Servants arranged them with ritual flourishes, tails marking each placement. Evan inhaled subtly. Off-note hit his nose acrid, like burnt wiring mixed with fermented rot. Not spice. Poison. His gaze flicked to the supply chain. Crates, stamped from Vosket's outer estates, rushed through side gates per palace logs he'd hacked earlier. A server placed a platter before the envoy. The alien inhaled deeply, mandibles parting. Evan's hand shot out. He swapped the envoy's platter with Sayeri's identical one in a blur fork, clinking softly. No one noticed yet. They were mendifording. Evans takes to 24. Sayeri's eyes narrowed, her tail tensed against his calf. Evan. The envoy speared a vein meat slice. Juice dripped. He chewed once. Froth bubbled at his mouth. Body jerked. Claws scraped table as he slumped forward. Gasps rippled. Nobles reared back, tails thrashing. Evan stood, voice calm. Poisoned. Retest now. Guards surged. Captain Irex blocked his path, blade humming. Sayeri rose, slamming her palm on the table. Plasma rings flared on her fingers. Halt! He swapped my plate. Test both. Queen Malith leaned forward, eyes like targeting arrays. Chamberlain, explain. Vosket paled, scales blanching. A supply error, Majesty. Outer hives. Evan pointed to the platters. Smell the meat. Burnt chem signature. Your crates bypassed scan nets. He pulled his multi-tool from his vest. Scanner beeping. Toxin match. Hive scorpion extract. Lethal to envoys. Trace to you. Servants froze. Irex snatched a sample, feeding it to a guard drone. Alarm wailed. Confirmed. The envoy wheezed, antidotes injecting from his bracer. Color returned to his scales. Chaos boiled. Nobles hissed accusations. Vosket backed away, tail low. Sayeri grabbed Evan's wrist, yanking him close. Her voice boomed, amplified by hall acoustics. By right of protection, I claim Evan Hale as sworn consort. He saved us all. Bind him to my side. Queen Malith's tail curled slowly. She nodded once. Claim accepted. Provisional. Guards. Enforce. Irex holstered his blade, eyeing Evan with new calculation. You move fast for soft skin. Evan met his gaze. Had to. Sayeri's hand stayed locked on his arm as the hall settled. Servants cleared poisoned plates under drone watch. Vosket slunk to a side alcove, whispering to aides. The queen raised her goblet. 2. Unexpected shields. Feast resumes scanned. Nobles murmured, tails flicking toward Evan. Sayeri leaned to him, breath warm on his ear. You broke silence. Explain. Supply logs lied. Crates shortcut security. Meet off by smell human noses catch chem shifts yours miss in humid air. He kept voice low. Voss wants your claim broken. Envoy dead? Blame you. Her scales flushed deeper blue. Tail coiled around his waist under the table. Chess move. You countered. Envoy straightened, mandibles clicking gratitude. Life debt. Princess. Human. Extraordinary. Queen watched them, fingers drumming throne arm. Contingencies flickered in her eyes. Banquet dragged. Evan stayed silent now, analyzing. Palace grids pulsed wrong in his tool's overlay. Power drains to Voss's wing. More plots brewing. Irex circled the table once, testing. Evan nodded. Sayeri's grip tightened possessively. As courses cleared, she pulled him toward a side chamber for private, right, seal. Door. Hissed shut, her body pressed close, scales warm. You proved indispensable. Lips met hers parted, tasting of nectar. Hands roamed. His fingers traced tail ridges, drawing a hiss. Clothes loosened. She guided him down, straddling. Heat enveloped. Rhythm synced. Urgent. Claws grazed his shoulders, not breaking skin. Release hit sharp. She collapsed against him. Purring. Partnership forms. They dressed quick. Hall Beyond hummed with shifted alliances. But Evan's tool beeped grid alert. Voss's aides slipped toward service tunnels. Sayeri's eyes sharpened. Hunt? Together. They emerged. Queen summoned them. Voss detained. Confession pending. Human? Your audit? Evan synced his tool to Hall Holos. Deeper rot. Sisters network your words earlier. Embedded in grids. Malith's tail stilled. Expand it. Irex joined, blade ready. Perimeter shifts. Human leads tech trace. Sayeri linked arms with Evan. Bond strengthens court. Nobles watched. Whispers turned admiring. Human consort no longer joke. Post-banquet, Lyra the Oath Scribe approached in corridors. Pacts draft. Human terms integrate? Evan tapped his tool. Simple, binds. Mutual, fix. She nodded. Scales rippling approval. Dawn neared. Bond rights loomed official, but alarms blared anew. Guard burst in. Intruder. Queen's sister vault breach. Evan bolted, tool humming. Sayeri matched stride. Lead. Blasts echoed ahead. Irex flanked. Trials escalated. Sayeri's tail brushed his. Quiet strength saves us. Evan grinned faint. Just fixing. They charged into firelit vaults. Sister's shadow loomed. Weapon charged. Voss's plot unraveled deeper. Guard drones swarmed. Evan hacked. A panel lights flared, trapping her. Queen arrived, flanked. Sayeri stepped forward, Evan at side. Surrender. Sister. Leverage lost. Blaster dropped. Captured. Court stabilized. Human proved. But Evan's scan pinged final node hidden in throne grid. More, he muttered. Sayeri smiled sharp. Together. Rites began at dawn. Chants rose. Rings exchanged. Hers, scale forged. His circuit etched. Crowd. Hushed. Whispers. Competence real. Feast followed. Irex nodded to Evan. Tactics evolve. Queen paused contingencies. Watched. Evan palmed tool. Audit expanded. Doors hissed. New threat? No alliance envoys. Bearing gifts. Bond secured. Partnership bloomed. Yet grids whispered. Rot lingered faint. Evan squeezed Sayeri's hand. Next fix. Her tail anchored. Always. Palace hummed alive. Human fire burned steady. Queen Malith's voice cut through the feast hall din. Enough. Bonding quarantine. 1 week. Guards. Seal their quarters. Evan froze mid-bite, fork hovering over spiced Vatari. Sayeri's tail tensed beside him. Envoys paused, gifts half unwrapped. The Queen's eyes locked on Evan, unblinking. Palace drones hummed to life. Doors hissing shut across the chamber. Captain Irex stepped forward. Your Majesty, protocol, overruled. Malith waved him silent. The human disrupts. Stabilize the bond or fracture it. Vosket's schemes exposed, but rot festers. Test them. Evan set his fork down. Clean plates gleamed around crystal goblets. Laughter died. He met Sayeri's gaze. Her scales shimmered faint violet amusement. Resolve? Guards herded them out. Evan pocketed his multi-tool. Sayeri walked tall, hand brushing his. Corridors narrowed to royal wing. Doors sealed with a thunderous clang. Inside the quarantine suite, glow panels dimmed to amber. A vast bedchamber sprawled, silk drapes partitioning alcoves. Translation field, flickered palace standard, glitchy on human syntax. Sayeri paced the viewport, stars wheeled beyond. Mother's gambit. She watches every node. Evan scanned the room. Walls pulsed with security grids. No privacy. He pulled his tool compact analyzer, jury-rigged from ship parts. First fix, walls. She tilted her head, frills flaring. Explain. Privacy field. Blocks, scans, audio. Translation overlay 2, your idioms trip my parser. He jacked into a wall panel. Circuits lit under his fingers. Code scrolled. Alien encryption. Nested loops. Human logic sliced through simpler bridges. Minutes ticked. Sayeri watched. Tail coiling. You adapt our tech. Like clay. Standard debug. Evan patched the field. A soft hum rose. Room isolated. Palace chatter vanished. Test. Say something off record. She leaned close, breath warm on his neck. Evan nodded. No external ping. Secure. Daily sync now avoids misreads. Like, tail brush, means alliance here. Threat, on my world. Her eyes widened fractionally, frills relaxed. You caught that? Humans blind to signals. Not blind, different. He synced the translator core. First night passed. They claimed separate alcoves. Evan audited grids via his tool. Whispers of sabotage lingered. Voss's drones. Rerouted. He flagged 3. Dawn chime sounded. Sayeri entered the main chamber, robes loose. Breakfast drone delivered fruits, gels, Vatari strips. She pushed a plate his way. Eat. Strength for trials. Evan chewed. Sweet tang burst. Quarantine goal? Bond or bust? She sat across, tail not touching. Political. Leverage against rivals. But you. Fix the vault. Sister captured. Court sees competence. He swallowed. Here. Tools fail under pressure. She leaned forward. Evan Hale. Denounce my claim. Clean exit. Shuttle home. Honors. Mother's contingencies allow it. Test. Loyalty probe. He set his plate down. Heart steady. No. Silence stretched. Her frills quivered. Why? Humans. Flee. Weakness. Partnership. Not pawn. Evan met her gaze. Marriage means terms. Consent first. Mutual opt-out. Anytime. No traps. She blinked. Scales shifted. Azure surprise. Consent? Royals bind eternal. Your rules. Separate alcoves, but talks deepened. Sayeri shared court webs alliances like chess. Evan mapped them to system diagnostics. Voss node. Excise. She countered with royal ploys. Feint, then strike. Collaboration sharpened. Palace feeds showed stability. Whispers turned. Human fire tempers crown. Day 5. Alarms blared false flag. Voss proxy drone breached outer grid. Evan hacked mid-siren. Sayeri directed guards via private channel. Drone fried. Irex calmed. Flawless. Evolving. Queen observed silent. Final day. Maleth summoned. Chambers unsealed. Court assembled. Evan stood beside Sayeri. Tool ready. Quarantine ends. Maleth scanned them. Bond viable. Applause rippled. Voss glowered from custody. Sayuri squeezed Evan's hand. Tail wove his leg. One rule. Changed all. Consent. He grinned. Grids pinged clean but faint shadow lingered. Deeper? Rot? Envoys bowed deeper. Alliance gifts piled. Irex nodded. Respect. Palace thrummed. Evan palmed tool. Ready for more. Sayuri's eyes sparkled. Always. They stepped into corridors. Guards parted. Partners now, not pawns. But Evan's scan whispered. Throne vault. Anomaly pulse. Voss's last thread. Sayuri sensed tension. Fix it. Together. He led. She matched stride. Human ingenuity met royal steel. Bond. Unbreakable. Court watched. Human proved not harmless essential. Yet shadows coiled. New threat brewed in envoy holds. Sayuri's tail tightened. Lead. He did. Rough hands burst from the throng, clawing at Sayuri's trailing cloak. Evan yanked her sideways into the press of bodies. The ceremonial procession choked the Grand Avenue nobles in scaled finery. Envoys from fringe worlds. Commoners waving fronds. Drums thundered. Chants swelled. He scanned the flow. Left flank dense with petitioners. Right edged by marble barriers. Forward choked by a hovering palanquin. Left! Now! Evan barked. His voice cut through her earpiece. Timed to the drumbeat. Sayuri twisted, tail lashing. She plunged into the petitioners without hesitation. The snatch team 4 in hooded cloaks. Blades glinting shoved after her. Evan matched her stride, shoulder-checking a gap-toothed vendor. The crowd surged like a living circuit. Unpredictable, but mappable. He spotted the pattern. Barriers funneled them toward a side alley. Slow your pace, Evan murmured. Feigned stumble. Sayuri's foot dragged. She gasped theatrically. Petitioners piled in, blocking the alley mouth. One attacker snarled, shoving bodies aside. Evan timed it. Next drum crash. He bellowed. Thief. Purse snatcher. Heads whipped. Fists flew. The crowd turned feral, trampling the hooded figure into the barriers. Sayuri slipped free. Cloak discarded. Evan grabbed her elbow, steering right toward the palanquin's shadow. 2 more attackers flanked from the rear. Blades rose. Evan scooped a fallen frond, jammed it underfoot of the lead pursuer. The alien tripped, crashing into his partner. Scales scraped stone. Grunts echoed. Captain Irex's guards materialized from the procession's core. Spears pinned the fallen pair. Irex himself dropped from a hover platform, eyes locked on Evan. Secure the perimeter, Irex ordered. His voice modulator clicked, translating Evan's improvised calls in real time. Guards hauled the attackers away. The crowd parted. Murmurs rippling. Human? With the princess? Sayuri straightened her diadem, breath steady. Her tail brushed Evan's calf signal for clear. Efficient, she said low. Voss Ketz. Desperation. Reeks. Evan nodded, palming sweat from his brow. No tech here. Just crowd dynamics. Systems tech basics. Redirect the flow. Isolate faults. Irex approached, helmet visor scanning. You predicted their vector. How? Patterns, Evan said. Crowd density. Barriers. Alley was the kill zone. Irex's mandibles clicked approval. Interrogation now. Traces lead inward. They resumed procession pace. Drums resumed. Cheers swelled louder. Envoys bowed deeper. Sayuri's hand found Evan's under the folds. Brief. Firm. Palace gates loomed. Guards tripled at checkpoints. Irex peeled off with the captives. Evan caught his nod. Respect earned. Inside the antechamber, Sayuri shed her outer robes. You turned chaos to shield. My court sees weakness in humans. They learn now. Team effort, Evan replied. Your stumble sold it. Her tail coiled his ankle. Partnership. Vosket overplayed. Alarms pinged internal grid. Irex calmed through Cyrie's diadem. Orders traced. Vosket's seal on the snatch codes. He's confined. Cyrie's lips curved. Queen will summon. Evan's tool warmed in his pocket. Palace feeds flickered on wall screens. Vosket's office raided. Data slates seized. Shadow pulse in throne vault. Later, throne room doors hissed open. Queen Malith's silhouette filled the arch. Her voice echoed, cold as cryo-steel. Evan Hale. Testify. Alone. Cyrie's tail tightened. Evan squeezed back. Go. I handle. Oh. He stepped forward. Guards flanked. The throne chamber dwarfed him, vaulted ceilings pulsing with biolum veins. Courtiers in tiered seats. Holographic grids orbiting the queen's dais. Malith perched, crown tendrils writhing. Her eyes bored in. Multifaceted, dissecting. Kidnappers bore Vosket's mark, she stated. No question. Evan stood straight. Yes. Crowdflow confirmed it. Proof. Not human emotion. Data. He pulled his tool compact scanner, jury-rigged from first contact scraps, linked it to the chamber grid via wristband. Holo projected. Procession overlay. Attacker paths in red. Crowd vectors in blue. Barriers highlighted. His calls time-stamped. Density here. Evan tapped. Push them to alley. I redirected via shouts. Timing matched drums 60 beats per cycle. Courtiers leaned. Whispers. Human math? Raw? Malith's tendrils stilled. Low tech. No implants. Improvised. Practical, Evan said. No need for more. She scanned the holo. Vosket claimed stability. You expose fracture. Irex entered, saluting. Confession extracted. Voss funded Snatch to discredit the bond. Human taint must end. Malith's gaze shifted to Evan. Evan met her eyes. Fix problems. That's my job. Nu bravida. Just fact. She rose. Crown pulsed. Vosket exiled. Dawn. Bond proceeds. Human remains. Indispensable. Courtiers erupted approval mixed shock. Sari slipped in beside Evan, tail weaving his leg. Her hand gripped his. Queen noted it. Tendrils curling faint approval. Evan exhaled. Grids cleared. But his tool pinged soft. Envoy holds. Anomaly spike. Voss's last thread? They exited to private wing. Sari barred the door. You faced her alone. Proof. Without plea. Data speaks, Evan said. She pulled him close, scales warm against his skin. You speak volumes. Lips met his fierce, claiming. Tail locked ankles. Partnership sealed in heat. Evan responded, hands tracing her ridges. Cultural gap? Bridged in touch. Alarms whispered later. Irex calmed. Envoy ship. Unsealed. Uninvited cargo. Sa'eri dressed swift. Voss's shadow. Evan synced tool. Pulse. Matches throne vault. Deeper rot. Queen's voice overrode. Partners. Investigate. Together. They moved. Guards trailed Irex. Evan led scan. Sari directed paths. Court watched from shadows. Human fire met royal steel. New game dawned. But in envoy holds, crates hummed. Not Voss. Worse. Evan's tool overheated. Biosignature. Armed. Sari drew blade. Strike first. Doors cycled. Figures stirred inside, scaled, unmarked. Assassins? Invaders? Irex charged. Evan flanked. Crowd tactics swapped for vault geometry. Sa'eri called feints. Blades clashed. Grids fried. One figure lunged for Sa'eri. Evan tripped it on conduit. Irex speared. Queen's feed watched live. Indispensable. Last crate cracked. Sayari's eyes blazed. Leverage ours now. Evan grinned. Fix it. Together. Alliance shifted. Human proved not pawn pivot. Shadows deepened. Bigger board. Evan slammed the holoprojector onto the throne room dais. Blue light erupted, replaying the envoy hold breach in stark detail. Scaled figures stirred from crates. Blades flashed. His tripwire conduit felled the lunging assassin. Irex's spear finished it. The rival queen's seal pulsed final. Gasps rippled through the court. Vosket stiffened at his podium. Frills quivering. Chamberlain, Evan said, voice level. Your vault pulse signature matches the crate dampeners. Exact frequency. I synced it during the fight. Vosket sneered, tail lashing. Human fabrication. Your crude tools lie. The envoy cleared my inspection. Evan tapped his wrist unit. A secondary grid bloomed. Vault access logs. Time-stamped to Vosket's biometrics. Then crate manifests. Forged but sloppy residue traces from palace forges. Inspection? Your seal authorized the unload. But these crates bypassed quarantine. Bioscans, hidden under your dampeners. Murmurs swelled. Vosket's eyes narrowed. Lies. I authorized nothing beyond protocol. Protocol. Evan zoomed the holo. Your personal cipher unlocked the vault 2 cycles prior. Pulled dampeners rated for live cargo. Matches the assassin's shielding. Deny that. Vosket faltered. His claws scraped the podium. A. Clerical error. Forgery. By rivals. Error? Evan pulled the chain tighter. Live feed from the breached holds overlaid. Microtraces of Vosket's scale shed, linking to crate interiors. Human forensics, simple adhesive lift from the fight. Your scales in the crates. Fresh. Not planted. Timeline locks you in. The court erupted. Nobles hissed. Vosket spun to the queen. Majesty. This soft-skinned outsider twists truth. Queen Malith leaned forward on her throne, eyes like polished obsidian. Truth. Demands proof. Chamberlain. The human provides chains you cannot break. Contradict further. Vosket gaped. Silence crushed him. Guards flanked him. Blades half-drawn. Sayari stepped beside Evan, her tail brushing his leg acclaim, steadying. Enough. Vosket engineered breach to fracture my bond. My claim stands, but I invoke royal prerogative. She faced Evan, scales shimmering under throne lights. Evan Hale. Systems weaver of humanity. I chose you for leverage. Now, I vow partnership. Mutual. Will you bind? Evan met her gaze. Fierce eyes, ridges flushed from their private seal. Cultural gap? Already bridged. He nodded. I will. Partners. Her claws gripped his hand. Warm. Firm. Court inhaled sharp. Queen Malith's frills flared approval. Bold. Yet unproven. She rose, voice booming. Public trial by duty. Evan Hale. You claim indispensability. Command palace safety protocols. Overhaul them. Vosket's faction undermines. Fail, and the bond dissolves. Succeed, and it endures. Evan felt the weight. Alien systems, labyrinthine vaults, bio-locked gates, scale-tuned sensors. Humans fixed what broke. This palace bled rot. Accepted. Sayari's grip tightened. Pride sparked in her eyes. He took her hand fully, interlacing fingers with claws. Skin met scales. Court stared. He turned, leading her out. Partners in view. Whispers chased them. Human fire. Royal steel fused. Irex fell in step behind. comm crackling. Perimeter breach at East Vault. Echoes your envoy signatures. Evan synced his tool mid-stride. They hit the corridor at run. Sayeri's blade hissed free. Guards peeled from walls, forming wedge. Evan scanned ahead, pulse anomalies spiking. Not Voss. Deeper. Confirmed, Sayeri said. Her seal demands response. We cut roots here. Palace twisted around them. Glowing conduits, snaked ceilings. Air hummed with filter vents. Evan traced grids on his unit. Alien tech resisted intuitive for scales, baffling for skin, but patterns emerged. Human logic sliced through. Left fork, he called. Vault junction compromised. Bypass code incoming. Irex grunted respect. Your scans outpace our arrays. They burst into the east vault. Shadows writhed. Figures dropped from rafters unmarked scales. Blades poisoned green. Assassins, rival marked. Sayeri lunged first, feinting high. Blade clashed. Sparks flew. Evan flanked right. Tool emitting EMP burst. 2 stunners dropped. Twitching. Geometry. Evan muttered. Vault arches funneled them. He yanked a loose panel conduit exposed. Irex. Herd left. Guard captain pivoted, spear sweeping. Foe funneled into the trap. Evan triggered overload. Conduits arced blue fire. Screams cut short. Last assassin coiled for Sayeri. She parried, tail whipping. Evan slid low, shoulder checked its knee. Crack. It crumpled. Sayeri's blade ended it. Silence fell. Bodies steamed. Evan's tool beeped. Data harvested. Access cores. Links to outer rims. Invasion prep. Sayeri sheathed her weapon, breathing hard. She pulled him up, forehead to his. You see breaks we miss. Teamwork, he said. Hand lingered on her waist ridge. Irex sealed the vault. Queen's feed. Active. She watched. Back in command nexus, hollow bloomed. Queen Malith's image filled the chamber. Court framed her. Vosket chained at edge, glaring daggers. Report, she demanded. Evan uploaded chains. Breach logs, scale traces, core dumps. Voss opened doors. Rival queen exploits. Palace safety? Riddled. Fixes en route, Sayeri added. Evan commands now. My consort probes pivot. Queen's eyes assessed. Obedience noted. Proof mounts. She paused. But trial peaks tomorrow. Full audit, public. Chamberlain's remnants test you. Vosket spat from chains. The human dies in audit. Soft flesh breaks. Evan ignored him. Turned to Sayeri. Ready? Her tail locked his ankle. Always. They synced tools and blades. Nexus hummed alive. Night cycle deepened. Evan worked Sayeri's wing. Grids sprawling. She mapped politics beside him. Rival queens. Faction webs. His fixes patched holes. Human redundancies. Layered on scale intuits. Alarms. Silenced one by one. Dawn neared. Sayeri paused, claws tracing his arm. They misread you. Harmless? No. Essential. He pulled her close. Lips met heat built. Tails and hands entwined. Partnership, fueled. Comm buzzed. Irex. Audit assembly. Vosket's plot thickens. Hidden faction in guard ranks. Evan dressed swift. We end it. They strode to throne room. Court packed. Queen waited. Vosket smirked from custody. Evan took dais. Tool linked to palace core. Audit begins. Holo exploded. Full chains. Guard traitors highlighted. Vosket's bribes exposed. Rival infiltration mapped. Chaos. Arrest swept. Queen rose. Indispensable confirmed. Sayeri claimed his hand public. Vows echoed mutual, but Evan's scan pinged deep core. New pulse, not rival. Internal. Queen's own vault? Shadows shifted. Bigger rot brewed. They gripped tighter. Partners stepped forward.